again with another Space Marine. Again, Space Marines are Games Workshop territory, but this one here is 3D printed. It is not an official model, and that's okay. I ran out of official models working on a video, but now we got something different. So I have this official Space Marine that was one of my original oil paint adventures. Have a yellow, a red that I tried doing the other day, and this wonderful blue to green. But I think today we're going to turn this nice ruddy brown into an ultramarine looking blue guy, because why not? Don't like ultramarines as a faction per se, but they are the poster boys for the models that sell the most, apparently. Kids get talked into them all the time. So, warm base, warm foundation, need to have cool highlights. Let's see what kind of highlights I have available to me. I've got this nice, lovely glacier blue. I think that's actually perfect. I think that's what we're going to go with. Give it a little shaky shake. Throw some on our texture palette right there. Moisten the dry brush. A little bit of paint. Scrubby scrub. And away we go. If you don't know how to dry brush, there are literally thousands of videos out there that teach you how. It is a fundamental skill in miniature painting. If you absolutely want me to teach you how to dry brush, I will, just let me know. But I think there are other teachers out there who are better equipped with videos and classes and lessons that are all ready to rock and roll. Just using a round dry brush. Doing more of an overbrush than an actual dry brush. And again, you'll ask me what's the difference? Just the sheer amount of paint you have working on your brush. I prefer an overbrush to a dry brush. It's a little faster, leaves a rougher texture, and I like that texture because that is texture I don't have to build in later. And now you're saying this is just slap chop. Sure it is. It's not slap chop, it's called grisaille. And it is a legitimate practice and art. And since we're working with semi-transparent to transparent oil paints, sometimes opaque, that we've thinned down to be semi-transparent, we can use these foundational highlights that we've already established, and we don't need to layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. Now that looks like a pretty good Space Wolf. The difference being that there's a lot of warm shadows and some very cold highlights, which is a great place to start because we are going to take and make a chromatic black out of those warm shadows. How do we make a warm shadow chromatic black? Well, we've got orange, dark brown, and we've got blue coming up. We're going to bust out the airbrush. Left some paint in the cup. That's okay. It's an enamel paint. It's still wet. Gotta take a few drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of nice clean mineral spirits. This particular brand is Mona Lisa. use good, clean mineral spirits. They smell so much nicer. But you don't have to. You do you. You can use grocery store or big box store brand mineral spirits. It's just mineral spirits. It just smells worse. We've got ourselves some Umbral Nightshade from Villainy Inc. The Grimdark Compendium. Good guys. And I'm trying to break the mixing ball that I have in here loose. So one thing you want to do with these Villainy Inks is you want to shake the ever-loving devil out of them. They are hard mixing, but they are super saturated. We are going to go 2 to 1. Thinner to paint. And we are not putting any varnish on this model. We are taking it straight over the acrylic. In fact, I do not like how dark that is. It's way too transparent for me. So, I'm going to find my phthalo blue. We're going to use a little bit of that. Same process. We're just going to use that paint we already have thinned down. Going to grab a scrudgy beat up brush and take the smallest amount we possibly can. That's actually a really nice brush. We're going to use. Save that one. Nope. Take this one. This one's been used for rust paints. We're going to take just a little bit of that phthalo blue, just the smallest amount on our bristles. Phthalo blue is a nice transparent blue. Super dark, good staining properties. Put that off to the side. Grab the airbrush again. I'm just going to mix that right in. Nice and thin. Nice and dark. Better. Much better. Now we have chromatic black showing up in our recesses. We're just going to cover the whole thing. And if you don't have an airbrush, you know what to do. You can just mop up a bigger brush with some of this paint. And just throw a wash on. That's all you got to do. But what if I don't have Villainy? It doesn't matter. Get yourself some dark blue. You can do this with acrylics too if you don't have oil paints, but we are learning how to use our oil paints. They are super fast. They are super easy. All you have to do is wait for them to dry a little bit longer. But if you use a good amount of thinner, it actually dries them out faster. Or you can use an alkyd. I haven't really used a whole lot of alkyds, but now he's starting to look like an ultramarine. Alright, let me see. Turquoise. Cerulean Blue. Cerulean Blue, Series 3. Let's see how opaque it actually is. I mean, it's a Gamblin 1980 series. It should be fairly opaque. Yeah, okay, I haven't even used this. Let's see. We're going to take just a small amount. We're going to throw it on the back of my hand. Just like that. I use the back of my hand as a palette. I know a lot of people use baking paper, parchment paper. I tend to use the back of my hand because it's fast for me just to rip it right off the back of my hand. Check the texture of it. Grab my model. Now I haven't even wiped this down. This is still wet from the paint and the mineral spirits and the phthalo blue. I'm just going to take a little bit of this cerulean blue, throw it on my brush, and start scrubbing. I'm going to need more paint because I'm just ripping paint right off. That's fine. I want to rip that paint right off. It's okay. And that's not turning out how I want, which is fine. We are learning. Cerulean Blue is not working the way I want. I'm pretty sure I have some Radiant Blue. There it is. I do have Radiant Blue. Radiant Blue, Gamblin. Not a Gamblin 1980 series. This is better. This is the straight Gamblin. Let's throw a little bit of that on there. And buy the best paints you can afford. I will say this constantly, a tube of good artist grade quality oil paint should last you decades. That's better. Unless you're painting every day. And painting hundreds of models a month. These paints are going to last you a long time. And all I'm doing is scrubbing down, just a dry brush effect. Clean my brush out by rubbing it up against a rag. Now here is where we use our expensive brush. Use trash brushes all the time for most of what you're working on, but buy a good liner brush. Where did I put my good liner brush? I think it fell off a palette. Nope, it did not. I lost my liner brush. I'll just use this one. This one's been beat up. Princeton script liner. I have some oil wash that I made up earlier. What we're going to do is we're going to just panel line. I'm going to take a little bit of that and just go boop, boop, right in the recesses. Grab a crease, give it a gentle touch. If you overspill, that's no big deal. And I don't know if you've noticed how long this is taking me. Moments. What would normally take hours of glazing or layering or throwing layer after layer going up from black. You get a good gradient, a good shadow, a good highlight. Takes you seconds with an oil paint. And I think we're going to do these color studies for a few videos. I am working on getting some commissions, and I would love to use these videos as progress reports to my customers or to my clients. That way they can see how well their models are coming along. Now that spot right there where I put a little bit too much and that one right there, those will continue to blend out. They will meld into the layers of paint underneath them. That mineral spirit will still spread. Or we can just blend it right off with our finger. Or we can get a blending brush. And it will literally just blend right away. No problems. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paints. And you got yourself a nice black to blue Smurph Boy. Catch you next time.